I think we can get started.
All right, you got us recording?
Good, yeah.
Okay. All right, welcome everybody. As y'all know, Diane is in Africa for about a month or a couple more weeks, so I'm standing in for her as the chair. And, Beth is also, she had mentioned last month she was gonna have to be out today for a conflict, so just get, right into it here. Everybody had a chance, I guess, the first item of business is to, just approve the minutes from the August 26th, meeting. Anybody, hopefully everybody's had a chance to take a look. And, I have a motion to approve. One second, okay. All right, all those who approve. Yeah, forgiveness, everybody. All right. Next, we've got Mike, turn it over to you, airport manager's, formal review.
Thank you. Let's look at the financials first. I think, last month I discussed a little bit about, what June, July, and August kind of doesn't bring a whole lot of revenue to it. For sure. But this month we've seen some good, fuel sales, and that's going to be September. And then the weekend we have, which I'll do that too, with the rides. We've got Alabama coming this Saturday. That's going to be a good event for us. And then some other home games as well. But, so let's look at August. We did about $32,000 in avgas, 191 roughly in jet. We did get a load of avgas for the end of the month, so the cost of goods is right at what we made. So we should be, ahead of the game from September's avgas. Everything is in line with fuel. We did have some expenses. Our airport administration budget took some hits, and so did our airport services budget as well. And so I have looked those up for us. And what we did on the admin side of the RSNH parking lot design, we took $60,000 from our monies and took it out of that and put it toward, that line item in our administrative. And then again, parking lot design, 5,900. And then we had our bid services as well with RSNH for 6,000. So that was what took up a good bit of the expenses. Our administrative side. The services, just to go down the list on that, we've had 10-8 fire safety breathing apparatus, $6,000. Motorola new radios, and then also about 10,000 contract labor for them employees. Also, just a note that too, most of these charges, all except contract labor, were not in our fiscal year 26 budget. And, may impact the final expense at the end of the year, but honestly, feel like we should be fine with, some of the major gains we have. We'll do fine and bring back a lot of revenue. The thing that kind of gets us every year is that, we are an enterprise fund. Even though in the past, I should say the past, the airport would get some sort of monies, from their budget, from the general fund. And it might be 75, might be 150,000, but it would go into our budget and we'd use it for things like this. We don't get that anymore. So we pretty much have to take monies like this out of our account You know, which is a good sum of, that's in there. But, you know, it's monies that we're able to use, and I'm blessed that we have it, that we can do it, and that's what finance said it's for. I think I had reported that one time, but I always hate to get into it, but it is, you got to, if you're gonna continue to. And one of the things I always like to say, this guy says, we've really been blessed with a lot of the projects we have. Andrew said, we've had so many projects here. It's not every airport did most of that. It's true. And I think the reason we have is because we were able to spend this kind of money on design, whether we're gonna do the project right away or not, but have it on the shelf. And then when GRFA says, hey, you got any projects? Say, yeah, we got a couple of them, here's some of them. And so that's how come we can get all these projects done so fast, and one right after the other. So it is a big deal.
Absolutely. I mean, otherwise, for case in point, Taxiway Bravo wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
We wouldn't have been ready to go.
that's true, because one minute it's like, no, we don't have the money.
That's right.
It might be a year, it might be a year and a half. Next thing is like, we get a call, we got some money. Okay, we're done, we're ready.
We're ready to go.
Yeah,
That's right.
so that's why we do it. And yes, some of this money we will get reimbursed for from the FAA, if it's an FAA project. If it's a state project, we have to eat the design, but that's okay. Because we still get $1 million or so, just for the project itself. So it's all good money.
I think it does make it kind of apples and oranges when sometimes we would have been able to capitalize or whatever, some like engineering fees and things like that, like you talked about in the past, but there are other times that we have to take it as an expense.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's-
that's
it's
fair. Yeah.
The temp employees,
Uh-huh.
contract labor, what you said those were for?
Yeah, so the temp, so about this time of year is when we gear up for, the temp agency, because, we use them mostly, we use them mostly for the UGA games.
Yeah.
The home games. Yeah.
Field directing the park and,
And then also, being summertime and all, we also use them for, cutting grass. Helps us out, we have one inmate that cuts grass. But the UGA students that we have, or temp folks that we do have, we put them in tractors and zero turns, and they get all out, so we keep that nice and clean cut. But a lot of it is the charters that come in, and we'll keep them up through March, April, basketball season. It's really basketball season, is even more football season when it comes to charters. And they're coming in all hours of the night. So, and these are students, but and it's not like we have to use them all at one time, except on football weekend. But we do like to have a lot of them on hand when we meet at this point in time.
Yeah. Volume of work goes up and down, the staff somewhat has to do.
It does. And then toward April is when a lot of them will graduate or go home for the summertime. And so we won't use as much. We do call them back in around June, maybe, prior to that, but we get expected by the FAA in June. So a couple of months prior to that, we'll call them all in. I mean, it'll be all out, gung ho. And we do keep the airport in shape year round. So I mean, we really win. At that point in time, that when we get inspected, we want everything cut, we use it, everything. So it takes a lot of people power for that. So we do use them for that as well. Now, we do try to, move those folks that are on the, with the agency to ACC. So we're not having to pay those fees. Those fees can, we have a lot of folks, those fees can accumulate.
Yeah.
And so Russ and David both and myself, they'll come to me and say, we want to take them off of them. And let's move them to an ACC, because we have, abundance of slots, in that Stark County part-timers we can put in. We can't full-time, we don't have a certain, but part-timers we can. So we'll move them to HCC whenever possible, get them off of that, so we don't pay those fees. But, that's the extent of the financials there. I do, like I say, I do foresee a good one for September. We're going strong with our projects right now. Taxiway Bravo is looking really good. And you can chime in on this one too, but we've been working on the south side of the main runway. We did the full depth reclamation there. And, if you want, you can kind of tell them where we are. I mean, we brought in, we paved, and it's really, really looking good. Trying to get that done as soon as possible. Yes,
That's
I
right.
know. It's been wonderful.
That's right.
It's been wonderful. But yeah, if you wanna come.
Yeah, no, it's done well so far. We did the reclamation of some of the existing asphalt and base material out there. Create a stabilized paving platform to pave asphalt on. So we're finishing up the asphalt pavement on the south side and moving to the north side. So dividing line together, of course, runway 927. So the northern work will be on I guess the portion of the taxiway that's on the ramp up around the north side. So, but we're moving into that work and opening up and trying to repair some of that pavement, and we'll hopefully have a little bit of extra from some of our contract budget to repair some of the haul routes along with that too. And depending on how we do there, we may see if we've got some money left over on that north side from the contractor repairs on the haul routes. Maybe tie in and get that little bit of asphalt between the taxiway and the apron. And clean that up too, because that pavement is pretty worn out as well. So if we can get that in this job, we'll be better set for the apron rehab.
Yeah.
So depending on how things work out, we can be efficient with what we've got going on. We're trying to do
That'd be good.
Don't understand it's gonna be written by Alabama.
that. I wish, unfortunately not.
Oh, well, as long as the weather holds up.
The weather holds up.
Yeah.
The weather holds
And the
up.
contractor, nothing breaks down for him, but that's the
Yeah.
plan, is to have everything done by then.
Yep,
Yeah.
and so on the north side, we're not doing full depth reclamation, we're just doing mill it out and put it back.
Yeah, some new lighting,
Yep,
that would be lighting.
yep.
But yeah, it's a good project. We've been, our Snell's been working with us pretty well, and trying to, I mean, every time we sit down, in our Wednesday meeting or construction meeting, we all look at the schedule, as far as the UGA football schedule. Want to make sure that we're all, in tune with, where it has to be and, where we've got to park these things. Alabama's gonna be the challenge, I guess. We flip-flopped our phases. We had phase 1 down there, which we're working on, just finished up. Phase 2 and 3, phase 2 was gonna be in an area where we normally park smaller airplanes, during the football, weekend. So we flip-flopped it. We decided, let's do phase 3, because let's be truthful, really, it's kind of out of the way more. We don't have to worry about, that area where we park aircraft. And then we'll come back and do phase 2. So we've been all working together to try to work around the schedule, football schedule.
So that north side, we had split, Mike was saying, into 2 phases, try and give the tenants and the T hangers as much access to be able to get in and out as possible. So
Yeah.
we can't do it all in one shot. We're splitting it up in half. And so phase 3 is on the northern side. And then phase 2 is the area that's closer to the terminal ramp and, taxiway out.
Somebody asked me, they said, why do you always start these projects right around the football season? And, the answer to that is that's when the funding comes.
That's right.
That's when EDOT releases their money in July.
Yep.
And then you have to, get all the paperwork ready. So come August, I mean, you're hoping to get started in August, at least, and, then you're into football season. And, and that's even FAA funds too, but I kind of see why all this payment was so old. It's hard, it is very hard to do a project during football season and coordinate. It's been, I feel like we've done pretty good, this is the last of it, really. I mean, he did, Andrew did talk about the next one being the ramp project. And that's something else we're working on as far as design. We haven't started yet, but they've given us, their proposal, to do the design. GDOT's looking at it right now, make sure everything's in order. And then, we'll go ahead and start that process, the mayor commission. That'd be a nice project. That might be our next project, actually, that we get money for. So that'd be a good one. Parking lot, we, I don't know, 95% complete on the design. I keep holding it up though. Where we were now is that, Athens-Clarke County requires, a tree be planted for every 7 spaces in the parking lot. And, for shade, whatever. We had to determine, first of all, we had a meeting, with Athens-Clarke County Planning and arborists. They gave us a list of the trees, that's possible. They were going full steam ahead on that. And then I was in a department head meeting and, Mike Horton with sustainability said, you can substitute solar panels for trees. And I got with planning, Bruce, and I said, Bruce, is that right? Can I do that? And he said, yeah, you want to. Thing is, I told Mike, I said, listen, I can't afford, I can't have them redesign this. I don't have the money. And he said, no, we'll pay for the money. Yeah, do all that redesign, and I said, well, I can't afford solar panels. And he said, no, we pay for 100% everything. Electrical, everything. And I said, okay, well, I was out of what is.
You didn't go and say, what about a car?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if you did a middle school right off the Baxter School.
Yeah.
I think they did solar panels on that project.
Did they?
Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole group on about that.
Oh,
We have a
really?
library over there, yeah.
And the library, there's a library downtown that said they did that. Yeah.
But I was about to say, they do understand this is an airport.
I know.
Trees and airports don't really mix
I
well.
know. Well, that's what we say all the time, yeah.
We definitely had that conversation.
Yeah. And we were hoping that we would be exempt a little bit. But
Yes.
It's just not.
Some things,
Yeah. And I asked how big are these things? I mean, they're not very big, but they do shade, I guess. Anyway, so I'm trying to put a meeting together now with RSMH and the ACC. So we can kind of all get together and discuss this, and put this design to bed.
Try and finish it.
Yeah, try to finish it. So I'm gonna try to do that this week. But I hadn't really, sent out anything yet on it, but, I don't know what the schedules are, but I'll do that. I'll send it in.
Yeah,
solar
well,
panels power the EV parking places.
Oh, no.
the question would be, I don't know how much battery storage they would need and what type of battery solutions they have to make it work.
Yeah.
So, I'm very curious to hear what the county has to say, if they've got something they're comfortable with, something they want us to use and how.
One thing nice about solar panels, they don't get bigger like trees.
I know.
That's true, that's right. You're not gonna drop a
Yeah.
limb on a car. or
Yeah,
a solar
yeah.
panel.
So that's where we are on the parking. Yeah. And then the tower, there's supposed to be a meeting over.
Okay.
Our fellow's gone. Chris, right?
I can find it.
Chris, there's another guy.
Of course.
Yeah. I think I have that. But, he wants to have a kickoff.
We did that. Okay,
So this is a kickoff meeting of some sort.
maybe this is, they're actually gonna start doing work. I don't know.
Maybe, and it's like 20 of them.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
20 people?
yeah, I'm just, okay, so.
They wanna have it here or is it
Yeah.
virtual or?
Now, be here, and we're gonna do it over at the But he hasn't, I gave him a date, a time, and he said yes, so I don't know, I haven't really heard of this. Okay, good. And, probably over at the other terminal. But I'll include you in that, once you notice.
No, we sent somebody.
Oh, okay, good, okay, I will,
That's new.
okay.
That sounds like they're actually gonna start doing something.
I think so.
They're gonna do that.
He said the design, well, underway. Oh my God, I need your boots. But,
Is the design mostly cut and paste, except for how it can, you know, the
Well, I mean,
connections?
The tower itself is that, prefab design.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of local adaptation they gotta do.
Gotcha, yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure, where's the power even coming from? So, I don't know if they give you any indication about, if they finalized where they're gonna put the, remote transceiver stuff yet?
no, and I'm hoping it's just gonna be over there. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully I'll find out before then. I'll ask you that. I'm sure they have 20 votes, somebody.
You guys might be still trying to get.
I think he is actually. Yeah, he is, yeah. And then, let's see, what else? The art,
Mhm.
so RSNH is helping us out with the, bid on that. Sonia, who's with RSNH, has been working with ACC purchasing for, is his name, and, they have now, gotten a date as far as the um,
Advertising. day.
yeah,
Mhm.
other dates too, so that'll be going out. And it's
October.
yeah,
Yeah, second week of October.
yeah, that's what it is. And, she's done really, really well. It's a federal project, and so it's not something you just slap together. There's a lot of requirements and things you gotta jump and whatnot, so, you know, that's why we got RSNH involved, not just, going through purchasing. You know, they're good at doing RFPs and bids and whatnot, but federal, FAA, want to make sure that you have everything covered. So, just like RSNH always helps us with all the projects out there, in the bidding process and whatnot. It was just, we made sense for them to help us with this too, so that we don't get in trouble. Yeah, it is, it sure is. And that's all I have on that, the projects. Am I missing anything? On projects?
I'm certainly not thinking right now, the way that we drafted, we had our CIP meeting, capital improvement plan update meeting with Mike and with GDOT, recently. And so we drafted that updated capital improvement plan, make sure we've got the program ready to go for future projects for the next 5 years. Some of it, further out is a little bit, pie in the sky on some of that stuff, but, we gotta have it on the CIP if we're gonna get it done. But I think for the next 2 years, we've got a really good program.
I think so too. I'll share it, at our next meeting. It's kind of a draft in progress right now.
Yeah, we gotta put some numbers still to it, make sure
Yeah.
we're all got it to you, and then once you're good with what we've got allocated for each year, then we'll put numbers to it.
Yeah, and, I think we're gonna move some of 28 because
Yeah.
it looks like there's a lot of
A
stuff.
lot of stuff on 28, yeah.
Which I looked at that just before I came into here, and, I see where I can move some things to 29 and 30.
Yeah,
So I'll do that. So,
okay,
yeah, so by next meeting, we should have all of that, it's due in November, first November, it's really.
yeah.
Then, Gavin may have something on marketing and outreach, but I do want to share this. It was the email that came from Jim Pendergrass, who did the rides. He sent me this email on Sunday, but, I'll just read it to you, if you don't mind. It said, Mike, I wanted to personally thank you for allowing Airbase Georgia the opportunity to come to Athens and display our aircraft and give rides. It was a huge success, not only financially for us, but with everyone, I thank for coming out to support us and the Athens community. We took a tower controller up for a ride. He had a huge smile on his face. Everyone was so nice to us. The airport personnel were truly awesome. There was a buzz around the FBO. We had a big turnout. Thanks so much. I'll be in touch shortly. I did talk to him a little bit, or emailed him after that. And he said they definitely want to do it again. You know, they're a nonprofit. I mean, you know, a ride is very expensive. But, you know, anytime you find an airplane like that, it's not cheap to keep up and maintain, so. Oh goodness, they had 5 of them. They had the 51 Mustang. I don't remember what the other one was. Corsair. Benji. Yeah. Cool stuff.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, Bill came out. He helped. You want to add anything? Talk to Jim too.
I was really happy to be here. I came out a little after 7 and the airplane started coming. They came set up for tent and tables with all the wares that they were selling, the t-shirts and ball caps and flights and that sort of stuff. And a good number of people here to support. They were on the outside of the tent. They were, the pilots were in here in grassy wood and in with the spectators and talking to everybody about the planes and all that sort of stuff. Had a food truck over there on the curb. I was really surprised when I left about 10 minutes before 10. They were still coming in.
Yeah.
Really coming in. So, looked like it was going to be a real good day. Nothing was really happening out here. Our side, but Andy comes back up against his friends. It's great. But couldn't ask for a better day. I thought it was really great. I met many people, chatted with people for a few minutes. I'm always looking forward to see if anything else. Because they're based at Peachtree City. And so many airline pilots live in the Peachtree City area, and many of them have small planes here. So, had a nice conversation with him and one of the other folks too. I was just searching for the people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them. But anyway, it was fun.
I appreciate you doing that. I was out of town. I had family in Arizona. But I did call in, called Breitbart, called you. 12 and 2, and then afterwards, like 7, I guess. But they said all day long it was steady and it was good, you know, and everybody enjoyed it. So I was happy to hear. That's for everybody. And we did some good fuel sales as well. Devin, do you have pictures of that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems to me I saw pictures. I was talking to Ilka and I was going to give some to Bob, county manager.
Yeah. Of the planes.
Yeah.
I got a few on mine.
Did you?
My phone and there were several photographers out here. And one I saw published, I think, on the airport Facebook page. I think she posted maybe some there, or maybe it was on Instagram. But I saw some of this girl, but I saw Alfred's you.
Okay.
There's 3 or 4 photographers, as I said, long lenses and all that kind of stuff. But, I was surprised, not long after I got home, something was going on.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, send it what you got too. I'd love to see it. And I'll send that to him as well with some numbers. We had some good avgas sales, because all those airplanes took avgas. Good sales there. Yeah, so do you have any, anything for outreach?
Yeah, there's several things. One is we had our site assessment from the elections department. They came out to take a look. So we'll have an election here on November 4th. So we'll have a polling place. And then possible runoff, I think it's December 2nd. And, so they, came out, took a look at our space just to make sure everything continued to go well there. We had, someone from the UGA Theater and Film Department who came out and, did some filming for a project that they're doing. The Benefits and Wellness Division came and did a tour and hosted, a department lunch, so that's part of Athens-Clarke County. We've got several tours that are lined up for the next month. So Heavenly Sunshine Health Services is bringing two groups. Cedar Shoals High School is bringing a group, Athens Montessori School is bringing a group, and Danielsville Elementary is bringing a group. So we'll have quite a few schools, coming out, during the month of October. Also, Porch Fest, which, is something that Historic Athens puts on, is gonna work with the, Welcome Center, to do a tabling event during the Ole Miss game. So, they'll be out here Saturday, of the Ole Miss game, and then Porch Fest is that Sunday. So it's where, you know, musical groups play on porches, all across Athens. And I think that's, got quite a few. And then the last thing that I've got to report is that I've got a draft of the annual report. So Jared Rosser, who is one of our part-time employees, is working with me to put together the annual report. And so I've got a draft from him, and I hope sometime this week to get that to all of y'all to take a look at, and so we can begin that process and getting it printed. So
Where would where's the polling place?
it is in the commercial terminal, so the community room of the commercial terminal. Yeah.
And I didn't know that that was one of the locations. Company that I retired from got called back on the job with the state. But in 2019 and 2020, ahead of the big elections. And, I was one of the group that went around all around the state surveying polling sites to check to make sure they had adequate electrical service. And I labeled the outlets and labeled the breakers, you know, so that if this machine went out right here, they could, you know, put your breaker and go to the check and all. So it was quite a project. We had to do the whole state, we finished February 27th, 28th of that year. And we could go out and watch it first. This wasn't on the list right then.
Yeah, this is,
Several schools and office downtown.
yeah, this is, I think, our second year doing the polling, but they had to come in, and that's exactly right. They had to come in and completely redo the, you know, the wiring and the breaker. So,
Yeah.
And I think they have different breakers for different ones.
Yeah.
In case one goes out.
Yeah, I think they were allowing maybe four or five machines max.
Yeah.
Onto the circuit.
I see. Yeah.
But lessen the chance for the tripping break.
Yeah. One final thing, or two, our firefighters are in Connecticut right now, at a symposium. That I guess is a national thing, for our FAA suggested, you know, our inspectors suggested they go to this. That it was probably one of the better ones to go to. It's a little pricey. You might see that expense on next month's, but, it's worth it. As a matter of fact, the two firefighters texted me when they went, I think it was Saturday. But they were, at the airport with our FAA inspector. She was also going on the same flight. Yeah, so they got to really talk to her as well. So that was nice. That's all I have.
I appreciate it, my friend. Let's see. Whole business, Diane forwarded, just a very short note from Derek Doster, planning all the department, and, it simply says, we finally got on GDOT's calendar to meet to discuss the crossings, Lexington Road crossings. And a survey is in hand on the sidewalk and trail for, T-Splosh 2023. And, the large south side sidewalk is still in land acquisition phase with a target to wrap up that by the end of the year, which I assume that should be the calendar year. So that's in the update we get on that. Anything else, Mike? Didn't have any new business, for this month. Standing committee, issues and updates, business and finance, and the only update is that we have our, for the October meeting, we'll have our formal quarterly fund review of the strategic plan. So we do that, it's one of our favorites. So we'll do that in the October meeting. Let's see, operating committee, I don't believe there's anything.
No, I mean, like we briefly discussed before,
Yeah.
it started, we're monitoring everything. I've seen nothing come our way yet. I'm particularly interested if anything happens with the farm. But I haven't seen.
I might make some inquiries on that. Just so, you know.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Sure they know we're here.
Yeah, exactly, right.
That's the one I think is the greatest thing. It's what's going on. Really kind of raising the flags for it.
And then, air services,
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah.
Wasn't long.
We had a work session with Mike, Bethany. We should go. And drew up some notes. So we didn't make any decisions or, change anything, but we did decide that we're going to reinstate having a regular monthly meeting for that meeting. And Beth put together a calendar for us, but before we consulted with each other, and the first meeting, the October meeting, has got to be rescheduled already because I'm on vacation. We're gonna be out of town. But, so we'll try to get that set up when she gets back in town and send out an email to let you know when that's when it's going to be. We have a tentative calendar for the next, well, from June through June of next year. And we have developed a basic agenda for our meetings, so we'll send out the calendar. We'll include that so that anybody's got any problems. Just please let me know. And I feel like we've done a lot of the discussion with Mike. We brought him, where the committees come from and kind of what's on the table right now, without going into specifics. And Beth has got a lot of history. I don't know where she has it all, but she sent me the grant.
Says the grant.
Information, and I was reading through that on all the airports that cities that were granted grants in this batch. And I saw something that regarding ours that just raised a question in my head. I'm not sure how if this is something we need to be concerned about, but it says on the project description, the funding will be used for revenue guarantee marketing for a new nonstop service to Charlotte using American Television.
Right.
Will there be a problem if we're using a different carrier and maybe even a different destination?
Right, no, all it's gonna take, this is talking to, USDOT, is a letter stating that, we will no longer be using American, that it would be whatever. And then also they'll be going to this destination. So it's just easy, it's just as easy as a letter. Right. Yeah, I've asked that question a couple times to come back.
That's pretty much it. I'll send that to them out. As soon as we can. Something like that for,
We should.
probably be the thing I mean, the week before, since,
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, thanks for that. Other business that we have is just that our next meeting would be on October 28th, Tuesday, October 28th is our next meeting of the authority.
Is it 28th or 26th?
It's 28th.
it says, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's the 28th, I think. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna start.
Yeah, really.
All right, that's it for our agenda. Anything else? All right. Start a motion to adjourn. Second. All right. All ayes. All right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
When does, Saturday morning?
They might come in the,
Well, that's right.
I'm sure they're going.
Yeah, they won't come in to Athens, they'll fly to Atlanta.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they don't like them. And that's right, they will do that, won't they?
And I think lodging is an issue as well.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, they don't usually like to stay in town, they like to stay outside.
Most of the time, that's what they do.
Is that unusual for teams though? Or don't
No.
most-
They'll fly it when that. Teams coming in.